Created the Ottaway. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up in the UK. Thank you for joining me and sharing some of your craft time with me. This is my weekly craft along video. I usually show a fun fold, a lovely gift box, all sorts of things going on this YouTube channel. This week I had an email from a lovely lady called Claire Askins asking if I could help out with a box tutorial. It's very strange how that happens. I was making a gift box to go with a mini album, and what I tend to do is use up bits and pieces of the Stampin' Up stash that I've got. And I was thinking to myself, this would be quite a good tutorial to share with everybody, because it's like a good all-round make that you can gift your handmade items in. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you a generic size gift box and how I get to the size and make it in the shape that I do. Very simple gift box, so don't switch off. Nothing tricky about this at all, and it uses stuff you've already got. And then at the end I'll pop together a little bit of a quick tutorial for Claire so she can see how to do the box she wanted, because Claire needs a box that is 2.5 by 2.5 inches for a bath bomb, and who wouldn't love to receive a bath bomb? So we do that together as well. But I'll do the generic size box first, or the shape box first, so that for you, those of you who've got things that you just want to gift and you want a box that will fit more or less anything, you just resize it. I'll show you that first. So what do I need to tell you? You can stay connected with me on Facebook or Instagram. Try and do something daily on there, little fun things, stories. I've got a VIP group for customers. If you're a customer of mine, you get to enjoy a little bit more fun and a little bit more of me if you want that. I think that's it. Should we create together? Okay, so that's how you get in contact with me, and this is what we're going to be doing. So I'll show you that in a minute. It's unfinished anyway, so you're not missing out on anything. When you purchase stuff from Stampin' Up, packs of paper, you get a piece of card in there. It's not really thick, heavy duty chipboard, although sometimes it is if it's designer paper. It's just this bit of card here. It's a bit thicker than normal cardstock, but not too thick, and it's perfect for box making. It has got this writing on there, but I'll show you how to cover that up and what you can do about that. But this is really good. If you've got a pack of paper from Stampin' Up, it really is helpful, because it goes through the colours that are in the sheets of designer paper. So maybe make a note of that before you start chopping into it. So how do we go about making a gift box? Well, first of all, you have a look at the thing that you want to make a gift box for. So this is an unfinished album. I'm just going to use it for the purposes of today. There is a YouTube video on how to make this album, but you can see it's unfinished, but it's perfect for the sizing that I need. And something else that Stampin' Up do amazing is this grid paper. If you've watched my videos before, you see that I've got this paper that I usually put my logo on, and I use it, but it's really good because it's got sizes. It's got them in centimeters and it's got them in inches on the other side, upside down. So I do it in inches because I'm in the UK. So it goes from 1 to 16, so that's a really long size, and it goes 1 to 10 up the side. So what I do is bring in the thing that I want to know the size of, and I'm going to bring a post-it note and look like I know what I'm doing. I'm professional. Okay, so I get my album. This is an album, so I've got to be aware that I need it a certain depth as well. But first of all, I'm just looking at the size. So I'm just trying to see, can you see where I'm coming at? So I'm going here, I'm starting at 1, I put my album on there, and it goes just past 6. So it's sort of 6 1/8. Now, I don't want to be messing about with fractions of sizes. So I'm going to say that my box is 6.5 inches wide. So I'm going to draw a rectangle. This is just for my own scribbles, and I'm going to say it's 6.5 along there. Now if I do the same up the side, it's just a fraction past 4. So if I said 4.5, it would fit rather nicely inside. So I'm saying 4.5. So I'll worry about the depth in a minute. I'll come back to that. So if I bring that back down, okay, let's turn that over so you can see my logo again. There. Okay, so this is the size of the item that I want to box. Now I've made these boxes hundreds of times, so I know that I like to do a bottom box that is deeper than the lid, and this is quite a deep side. So I'm going to hold it up again along my line, and I know that that's going to fit inside a nice deep 2-inch box. So I've got my rectangle. I'm going to put a side on it that's 2 inches, okay, and I'm going to put a side on the other side that's 2 inches, okay, so that's another 2. So that means that the length of my box needs to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.5 inches. So I need a piece of card that's 10.5 inches wide. Now what about these side bits? They also need to be 2 inches. So I'm going to bring them out like that on my original rectangle and do it like that. And that's 2. And then I'm going to do another long rectangle along there. And that means on every side of my rectangle, I need 2 inches. So I've already added it onto the middle, but now this side, it's 4.5 plus 2 plus 2. So that's 8.5. So that means my piece of card to start with needs to be 10.5 by 8.5. Okay, let's cut it. Paint trimmer. Now, luckily, this piece is right in the middle, so I'm not going to have to worry too much about where this is going to be. What I'm aiming for is that this is in the bottom of my box, and I can cover it with some designer series paper, and then no one will know. It will just look like white card. So what was the side that I needed? I needed 10.5. Now in order to make sure that this little logo here is in the middle, I need to chop a bit off either side. Now if you're just using plain white or plain coloured card, you don't need to worry about chopping off a piece either side. If you're looking for 10.5 and it's a 12-inch piece, you're just going to straight away cut off 1.5 inches. Because I want a bit either side, I'm going to do 3/4 and 3/4 on either side. So that's what I'm going to do. So 10.5. So I'm going to cut off 3/4 of an inch, which is not really anything, is it? But it's a little bit there. And I'm not going to use that, so I'm going to put it straight in the bin. I'm going to flip it round and do 3/4 of an inch again. Cut it off again. So that means that my card is now 10.5 inches long. Now the other way needs to be 8.5. So that means if I've got a 12-inch piece, which this is, so 8.5, so I've got 3.5 to play with, okay? So again, you can just turn it and cut off 3.5 inches, or if you've got a pattern in the middle, you need to cut it half and half. So if it's 3.5, I need it 1.5, 1 3/4. So this time I'm going to cut off 1 3/4. 1 3/4 from both sides, purely because I want this logo to be in the middle, because I want to use up this paper. 1 3/4. Okay, so that's quite a chunk. You could actually use that as for tags. Look at that. Is it? Oh yeah, that's a really good size for tags. So I might have to rescue those from the bin. So you should be left with, let's double check it together, a piece of card that is 10.5, 10.5 Yep, by 8.5. Yes. Okay. Now here comes the really easy bit. You already know that you want your box to be 2 inches deep. So you're just going to score it on all 4 sides at 2 inches. And I'm going to turn it over because I want it to fold upwards, don't I? Yes. So I'm scoring at 2 inches on all 4 sides. Okay. And 2 inches. And then the last one, 2 inches. Simple. I'm resisting saying ta-da. Okay, so let's put this one out the end side. Okay, so it means all my score lines, let's just burnish them all. I always forget to bring my bone folder, don't I? Oh, I've got about 8 of them. How is it that I never remember to bring one through? Okay, so I can see already there's my box. Now I'm going to use my Stampin' Up's paper snips because they've got a really sharp point. And what I'm going to do is where this square is, I mean you've seen me do this before making boxes, you just cut up to that score line like so. Okay, so it turns that effectively into a flap. Now because I want a nice neat box, I'm going to make a little triangle of that. And like I say, I'm using paper snips from Stampin' Up because they really have got right to the point. And I'm taking this little tab off here as well, a little sliver. Okay, so if I lay that down, let's lay it down so you can see. I've taken a thin sliver off there and a thin bit off there, and I'm just going to turn it, do exactly the same again. And you just keep going round on all 4 corners. Now, obviously, you can speed this up, but I'm going to do it in real time so that you can see. And then just waffle to you, really. We have got the weirdest weather here in the UK at the minute. It feels like summer, then it feels like winter, then it feels like autumn. Honestly, this morning I got up, put thick, heavy-duty clothes on, and now I'm like sweating buckets. It's like the sun is blazing. It's just, you couldn't make it up. Don't know whether we're coming or going. Yesterday when I went on my morning walk, it was thick fog. Right, so I've done 3 tabs. So the last one, okay. You've got a big box like this. You might be better off with bigger scissors, but I love the fact that the paper snips have got a really sharp point. Some scissors that you get, they're rounded. Does that make sense? So you never get right into the point. Okay, this actually is the bottom of our box. So I've got my Tombow glue, and I'm just going to do all the tabs in one go. So I'm going to put my glue all over. If it's a big tab like this, make sure it is in all corner of your tab. Otherwise the box doesn't stick together and have a really nice right angle on it. It's sort of, I'll show you. Okay, so there's that. And I always glue all the tabs at the same time because it's really hard to get your fingers in and stick it in when you put some glue on when you're doing it. So I just bring that up and you can see already what a lovely, nice, clean corner I've got, okay? And because I put glue all over, it's actually stuck all over, whereas if you only put glue in one bit, this gaps. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just talking to myself now, aren't I? Okay, so I'm just going to go around and do all 4 corners. Da, da, da. This one, like so. And then the last one. Look at that, what a lovely deep box that is. Okay, so, but also, can you see what's happened? My Stampin' Up printed information is in the middle. Whoa, ta-da! Okay, let's see if this fits. Look at that, perfect. Okay, so to cover this up, I'm going to get some of the paper. So if you're like me, you've got hordes of paper, you can cut it. Now, what did we say this was? 8.5 by 10. So I'm going to go slightly smaller. Was it 8.5? Oh, where's my sizes gone? Let me check. I'm sure it was 8.5. No, 6.5. 6.5. 8.5. Okay, now I'm doubting it again. Right, let's have a look. 4.5 by 6.5. Oh, I realise what I've done. I've added on the 2 inches, haven't I? So my inside of the box is 4.5, so I'm going to go back 1/8 of an inch. So I'm doing 4 3/8. Oh, that's the scorer. Okay, 4 3/8. And then the other side was 6.5, so I'm just going to go back slightly by 1/8. So that's 6 3/8. And then I get that lovely little piece. And I bring that in, and that is going to stick in there, and who will know that it even has that printed thing underneath? How cool is that? Okay, it's all about how you cut the card, if you cut off both sides. So there is my box. So you know what it is? I don't want to throw anything away. Okay, so that's my lovely bottom of my box. Now, you could put an acetate lid on there. You could just put some tissue around your gift and then just tie it with a bow. But if you're going to do a lid, what we need to do is do it again. So we get our everything back in. Now, in order for the lid to fit over, we need to add 1/8 of an inch. So the sizing is the same. Apart from, we need to add another 1/8 of an inch. So instead of it being 10.5, we're going to be 10 5/8. So for the lid, it's 10 5/8. Okay, by 8 5/8. So we're going to cut our card, but remember we have to take a bit off both sides. So 10 5/8. Now I can feel the sweat coming out on me. So 10 5/8 means that you've got 1 3/8 to chop off. So I am going to do that as 4 5 6/8 on one side. Let me write this down. 6/8 on one side. Let's cut that off because I'm trying to get that logo in the middle again. So 6/8 is 3/4. So on one side I'm going to take off 3/4. Okay. And then on the other side it's pretty easy because I can put it at 10 5/8 and just cut off the excess. Okay, so one side was that and one side is that, but that's okay because it's still quite central. Now this way is, was it 8 5/8? So 8 5/8. So I've got 3 3/8 that need coming off. So if I 3/8, half of 3 inches is 1.5. So 1.5. If I do 1 5/8. So let's take off 1 5/8. 1 5/8 off one side, and then slide it along and get it to 10 5/8, and then I'll know what to take off the other side. So 10. Oh no, I cut too much off, did I? Oh no, have I really? That is 10 5/8, isn't it? So That's 10 and 5/8. Have I done the wrong one? I should be doing 8 and 5/8. That's what it is. Oh, right, okay, let's get this right. 10 and 5/8 is already done. So this way needs to be 8 and 5/8. Oh, it's just that I turned the card. Did you hear? The panic in my voice. I thought I'm going to have a heart attack live on screen. 8 and 5/8. Oh my God. Okay. Well, that's what you don't do, girls. Don't panic and have a heart attack. 8 and 5/8. So, okay. Phew. Oh, okay. Let's measure it. So it needs to be 10 and 5/8 by 8 and 5/8. Is that what I'm saying? I think I've still done it wrong. Let's try it. So it needs to be 8 and 5/8, 10 and 5/8. So 10 and 5/8 by 8 and 5/8. Yes. Okay. But I've just realised something. So if you want the lid the same size as your bottom, go round and score at 2 inches. I want my lid actually to only be 1 inch, so I'm going to take another inch off all 4 sides. I know it's crazy, but I want a shallower lid, so I'm going to take another inch off, just cutting an inch off on all 4 sides. Let's hope it still works out. It will. I'm just thinking out loud and I should keep quiet. Okay, so that looks quite a bit over one side, doesn't it? Do you know what? I think it'll be okay. So now what I need to do is score it at 1 inch on all 4 sides. So I'm going to score it there. I'm going to score it there, score it there, and the last one, whew, I'm going to score it there. Okay, right, let's move this out of the way. So now you can see I did somehow, I don't know what I did wrong, that needs to be over a bit, but it doesn't matter, because it's still within the central frame. So I'm going to make my lid exactly the same as we did the other one. So go up into each corner. Actually, what I need to do is burnish it because it helps you see where the lines are. So I'm just going to do it with my thumbs because the bone folder is in the other room. Okay, that's just going to go to there. Trim off that side as well, and this side. It will be okay. Claire, if you're watching, it's fine. I'm getting to you. I don't usually do, well that's a lie actually. If somebody asks me to show them how to make something, I always invariably show them. But this just seemed perfect. I wouldn't do an individual video really, but I'm sharing it with you all, so it's not favouritism, is it? Okay, there you go, and that one, and I think we're there. So do the tabs exactly the same. Say a little prayer to the craft fairies. We want it to all work out really well and to be the perfect gift box that you can resize and adapt for whatever you need. So that's going to go to there, same as we did before. Just make sure you've got really nice corners. So adding the 1/8 of an inch means that this lid will go over the top of the bottom, the base of your box. And it's just by 1/8 of an inch. Fingers crossed. Now you will notice that I actually left the printed piece on the top. because the inside is plain and I can decorate the top. So now if I get my piece of paper again and cut that out again, so it's 4, oh, so it's, yeah, plenty of thing there, 4 3/8 by 6 3/8. Let's just double check before we stick anything down. Can you see any printing? No! Ta-da! And there we have a finished box. I'm just going to prove that it's going to fit on. And it will fit very nicely my album. There you go, like so. Look, handmade by me. So there's the box. There is the gift, all securely inside, and here is my lid. Ta-da! Okay, right, Claire, let's get on with yours. So, same principle. So again, I did the same thing, Claire. I worked out that your box needs to be 2.5 in the middle, and then I've added a 2-inch that side and a 2-inch that side. So it means that my first square is 6.5 by 6.5. Okay, and this is the base of your box. So I'm just gonna double check. So 6.5 by 6.5, and then I'm gonna, oh, where's it? Why am I doubting myself now? Let's have a look. Yeah, 6.5. 6.5. Okay, so I've done it in white so you can see. Again, I'm going to just do the tabs. There is another actual box on my YouTube that is, you can do the box and the lid all in one. So you might want to go and have a look at that as well, Claire. I'll put a link at the end of this video. Okay, so 2 inches is quite a long way to cut. So that comes off there. Oh, I could see you could really jazz this up, couldn't you? With some of the gorgeous paper from Stampin' Up, the reindeer paper. Oh, it's to die for, it's so lovely. So I like to do tabs. So I've done that wrong, haven't I? So I do that one, then that one. I like to do them going in different directions because I think it gives you a squarer box. I don't know if that's actually true or an optical illusion, but I think it does. And I always cut away on the outside one. Oh. And then the last one. So do you think that that is a box that you will give a go? The lid just fits so snugly. You can do it square or rectangle. You can do it different depths. And use your stuff that you would normally throw away, your packaging. When you've made something for somebody and you've taken a lot of time and effort, so when I make an album, it's not like a quick make. It doesn't happen in a week, or I usually make the album and then it's all the personalisation that takes the time, like adding the different sentiments, the stamping, all sorts of stuff like that, that takes the time. So to put it in a really nice gift box is a must, I think, just because that's the first impression you get of what your gift is all about, isn't it? And don't forget to put a beautiful tag on it with your offcuts and write on it that you've made it. Because sometimes people can't believe that you've made things, not because it's you, but they just go, what you've made that? And you're like, yeah, just from paper and card. How amazing is that? Okay, so this is the tighter box to get together because it is like that. And you could say, I've wasted loads of card. having such big tabs, but you don't need to. You could cut your tabs down. What I like about it is it makes my box really, really strong. So that's the bottom of my box. Then I want a little insert for the bath bomb to go on. So I need it slightly narrower. So the box is 2.5, so I need it 2 3/8. And then again, I've added 1 inch on either side. So it needs to be 4 3/8 by 4 3/8. And then I'm just going to score it. Bring that in so you can see. Score it on all 4 sides at 1 inch. Okay, because I want it to sit in the bottom. So this is not the lid. This is specially for Claire's bath bomb. Okay, so it's 1 inch on all 4 sides. You'll see why in a minute. And 1 inch on there. So this is like a little insert if you're going to put something like a bath bomb inside. So it's 4 3/8 by 4 3/8. I've scored it at 1 inch on all 4 sides, and then I'm going to die cut a circle in there. It's what size was this? Because I'm not sure how wide your bath bomb is. So it's just under a 2 inch circle, and hopefully your bath bomb will sit deep enough that it won't move about. If it isn't deep enough, do a wider circle. Okay, let's just die cut. So you don't want to see me die cut. It's not pretty. So again, with this, I don't know that you need to have those tabs on. I'm actually thinking that I might cut them off. I won't cut them off, I'll tuck them under. So I'm not going to glue them. Let's have a look, see what happens if I do that. So I'm just making them into a tab on each 4 sides. But because it's sitting in and I want it to be removable, so that's like that, that's like that. Okay. Oh, I didn't check how long this video's gone on. You're probably all getting fed up now. I can't do singing. All I can do is craft. I can walk. I'm good at walking. So I'm not gluing them, Claire. I'm just putting them in. So I've just tucked them in. That will tuck in like that. Look at that. Okay. So your bath bomb should fit in there. Now, if it still sticks up too much, I would maybe cut that down to 1/2 inch. Have a little play around with what suits your bath bomb. So that's the inside. Now the lid is exactly the same. So you need to work out that you wanted it 2.5 inches across plus 1/8 inch. So 2 5/8, and then we want 1 inch either side. So this should be 2 5/8 by 2 5/8, and then I just score it at 1 inch both sides. Nearly there, guys. I just think it's important to show you how you can resize the same box and it can look really different, and you can put an insert in it depending on what you're gifting. So again, I'm just doing the same thing with this, just making the lid is slightly narrower, just going round on all 4 sides, and you can jazz this up as much or as little as you want to. Don't pull, Claire, cut. If you pull, you end up with tears in your paper, but I have to remind myself because I'm quite impatient, especially when I know I've been on the video a long time. Okay, that's that one. There. Has it come off? Where's it gone? There. Okay, so just cut the outside bit off. have to cut too much off. It's just to give you a nice crisp corner. So let's bring all those in, and then we can have our ta-da moment. And I will go away and decorate it and show you how to do that. Okay. Ta-da. One more. Okay. Quite excited. Okay, let's see. One corner. Two corners. Three corners. And four. So if you liked my videos, subscribe and watch more of me. If you like the products I've used, especially this grid paper, because that's all I've shown you on this, and some basic white card, and some of this paper for your designer series, just buy it so you've got these sheets to use. Then follow me. Ta-da! Okay, so there's our gift box. There's our gift box with a lid with the paper on. We are done. Thank you for watching. Top tip, just double check and triple check your sizes, otherwise you might have a moment like I did when I thought I'd cut the wrong size. Remember that whatever the size of your base is, you just need an extra 1/8 of an inch for the lid, just so that it sits over snugly. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with you real soon. Bye.